Hello and welcome back to another reading blog. This is going to be a part of my little series I'm doing this summer where I am reading very niche, hyper-specific themed books. And this theme is going to be mermaids, sirens, pirates, ocean, which is a little less hyper-specific than maybe just Southern Gothic books, but also not really. I wanted to make it just like sirens, mermaids, but then pirates got introduced. I'm like, okay, I have to include some pirate options. And then I have another book on here that I think might not have either, but they live in like a manor by the ocean. It's supposed to be really good, so I did include that as well. So yeah, it is covering the entire ocean because one, the ocean is huge, and two, I just want a water theme. It's June. I want to be by the water literally and physically and also fictionally. So we are getting on all the little ocean vibes, although with the caveat that I don't think many of these books have like a sunny ocean vibe. To me, I think they're going to be a little bit more of a moody, a little bit of a coastal gothic, maybe almost with some tinges of like horror, I would say. Maybe not completely, but definitely a darker atmosphere, as you can probably tell. The fact that the last video I did was my Southern Gothic video where I read all Southern Gothic summer books, which go check that out on my channel if you'd like. I definitely prefer a little bit of a spookier vibe no matter the time of year. So that is kind of the vibe we're going for. I've always really been fascinated by mermaids. Obviously, I feel like most girly pops are, and like their kind of role in literature and also history. I mean, I know they were real, probably, but like they do have a role in history. Like sailors did actually believe they saw mermaids and like maybe fell in love with them. I don't know. Manatees, I don't know. Crazy. But I would like to maybe like do a little research later on in the video just to like add to my overall knowledge. But with that being said, I also am going to be participating in a few kind of themed activities throughout the vlog. I like to have a fully immersive experience no matter what, but specifically for these reading vlogs, I want to, go out of my way to feel like I am in touch with the book a little bit more, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited to do those activities with you guys. And to get started reading, I do have a list of books that I will put somewhere around here, probably here, I don't know. Editing Kylie will figure that out. But these are kind of a list of books that are on my radar for this vlog. And I think I already have like the top 3 books chosen from this list, like prioritized, because I don't know how many books I'm going to get to, but last vlog I only read 3, so this time I chose like 3 to prioritize, and then if I have more time to read the other books, obviously I will. So yeah, that is what we're going to do. I'm also not going to talk about every single book right now. I'll probably talk about them as they come up in the vlog, so sorry about that if you want to hear like descriptions of all of those, but I don't want to make this too long, so we're just going to talk about them as they come up. Which brings me to the first book we will be talking about, which is In the Veins of the Drowning. So far, I've already started this, and I am loving it. I am loving it so much. It is, like I said, a little bit of a darker vibe. It's not like sunny, beautiful Little Mermaid vibes. It is definitely, although even Little Mermaid's kind of darker, but it's definitely a little bit of a like more, I wouldn't say fully gothic, but there are some like, there's mentions of like gore and like there's violence, there's darker themes, if you will. But let me tell you what this is about. This is about our main character, Imogen, who is the ward of a king who is not known for being very kind, and he is planning to marry her off to the captain of his guard, who is also like the #1 siren killer. Like that is like part of his job, or maybe the main part of the job actually. And what not a lot of people know in the story is that Imogen is actually a siren, and she keeps it under wraps because, I mean, for obvious reasons, they're killing them, so she keeps it under wraps. However, a few days before she is set to be married, a king from a neighboring kingdom comes to visit. His name is Theo, and he kind of sees like the mistreatment of Imogen and is like appalled. And due to circumstances that I will not get into because they're spoilery, she ends up leaving with Theo to run away from this kingdom and to escape the life that has been kind of planned out for her by the king. And after she has escaped, she is kind of finding out more things about herself and her history like she never knew before, because she never really wanted to explore the siren side of her. She didn't want to put herself in danger and put herself at risk of being killed, so she kept it all pretty under wraps. And so now she's realizing that she kind of has these latent powers that she wants to explore, this whole history of who her family actually is, because it's not the king. She was like adopted by him, his ward, like kind of trying to escape the life that she had, is what I'll say. Like I said, am absolutely loving this. Not only am I loving this like siren lore that we are getting, what is really interesting about this is that the sirens also have wings, which is so interesting. I'm like imagining like the wings and the tail. That's like a lot to carry. And she also like it's like one of those mermaid siren situations where she doesn't have a tail on land. Obviously that would make the story quite difficult. So far she has not fully turned. Like I said, she doesn't want to really explore the extent of her powers, so she has only ever kind of grown her wings, and that was involuntary. So we've got a lot to learn, basically. But I'm liking the lore a lot, the intrigue and where the story is going. Basically, Imogen is now on a quest to find this mage seer to complete a task for her, and it's just and she's just learning a lot about herself like on the journey, and that part is really great. However, let me touch base a little bit on the romance aspect of this book, because this book has me literally giggling, literally kicking my feet in the air, smiling. I love these characters, Theo and Imogen. I love their chemistry. I love their tension. I have been taking notes, so I need to like reference them, but I feel like they are so like they're so realistic in their tension. Like they don't like each other right now, and it's not that they hate each other and like for no reason. It's really they both see things in the other that they kind of go against their own values and their own like beliefs, and they don't like that about each other, and so they're constantly kind of like bickering about that. And they had this whole like kind of like fight scene where they really got like into it, and they like were pointing out all the things that they didn't like about the other person, and it was like so realistic. And I was like, oh my god, they are throwing shots at each other, but it felt realistic. It felt like a buildup of tension. And again, like they weren't even like being like, I hate you, or like you're the worst person ever. They were just like, Imogen would to Theo, Imogen lives a very sheltered life and doesn't take risk and seems selfish because she wants to do what's best for her, while Imogen believes Theo is too selfless and is doing everything in his life for the sake of his kingdom and not taking into account anything that he wants. And she kind of doesn't see that as noble. She thinks it's kind of just like a bad way to be. Like you have to have a balance, basically. And so they're bickering about that, and I just like the conversation feels so realistic. And then obviously there's a romantic tension in the loop because this is a romantasy. Hello. And it's so good. There's also I don't want to get too much into it right now. Maybe like later on in the vlog I'll just talk about it a little more, because I don't want to like make this part so spoilerly. Also, I need to wrap it up so this is not so long. But there is like a reason they have to stay together, and why they are like, this reason is also kind of adding to the romantic tension. And it's so good. I just love it. Obviously I love Imogen, but I really love Theo as MMC. There's just something so like romantic about him. I don't know how to say it. Like he's just so, I know Imogen points this out as kind of a flaw, but he is really noble and honor bound to his kingdom and his people. And I don't know, that's just very admirable. And so, but yes, and there's also some circumstances why they can definitely not be together. So that adds a little bit of the extra tension to the plot, to the romance, to everything. I'm loving it. I think if it keeps going in this way and me loving it as much as I do right now, it's going to be a 5-star, which I would be so excited about. So anyways, now that I gabbed about that for 5 minutes, I will tell you my plans today. Sorry, my hair looks really crazy. But I'm gonna go get an acai bowl because that feels very summer beach. And the acai place that I go to had a mermaid bowl actually last month. I hope that I can either still get it or some kind of variation of it. I don't know if it's still on their menu because they do a lot of seasonal things, but if they do, I'm gonna get that. Then I'm going to go to the lake because I do not live by an ocean, but if you know, the lake is essentially, Lake Michigan is essentially an ocean. Like, it is huge. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to eat my little acai bowl, listen to my book. I am listening to this on audiobook, and just kind of enjoy the water. I probably will not do too much else today because I have some other things going on, but I did want to just kind of kick the vlog off and get started and continue my reading. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Hello, it's been a few days since I have updated you on my mermaid pirate ocean themed reading vlog, so that is what we're doing right now. My first update is that I finished In the Veins of the Drowning, and this was a 5-star read. This was so good. I loved the relationship between our two main characters, Theo and Imogen. I'm so bad at names, but I do remember them because I love them. Their tension was so good. I think I talked about this maybe earlier in the vlog, but there's just a scene where they are kind of beefing about their differences, and it just feels very realistic, and like they're not really like fighting to fight. They're fighting because they actually do have different personalities and different worldviews, and they clash with each other, and it like causes strife, obviously, but they are like actively, you know, bound together literally, and so they have to work against them and kind of talk it out and like get to know each other, and obviously they fall in love, literally, obviously. Yes, I absolutely loved it. I also loved the atmosphere of this book. It was very like, it was not a sunny beachy day. I don't think any of these books that I'm reading in this vlog are giving like sunny beachy day. They're more like, oh, there's a storm on the horizon and the skies are really gray and dark and it's spooky, which I loved. There is also a scene where Imogen and Theodore have to go to this like witch and have to like break a spell basically, and that scene was scary. I was scared. I was like crazy. She was like, first of all, the way they described the hut was so detailed and interesting. Like, she had like bones scattered all over the like ground, and there was like candles everywhere, and then the witch herself was like not able to like sit up or do anything on her own because she's so old, and like in this book, like magic like takes something from you when you use it. You're not like technically supposed to use it, and so she literally has like plants like holding her up and like moving her head for her like a little marionette doll, and I was like, oh. And there's like a scene where she has to take something from Imogen to like break the spell that they need. And I'm like, that's genius because it's so gross, but makes sense, like for magic and stuff. And oh my god, it was nasty. But I was like, this is amazing. I can imagine her little creepy seaside hut of bones really well. And I actually really enjoy the like main conflict too. So Imogen basically has to run away from her home island or her home kingdom after she basically turns down an arranged marriage. She runs away. She's like living with the king, and they are now bound together, but they have to be unbound because he's getting married to somebody else. Obviously they fall in love, so that's an issue. But then all the mermaids in the ocean, I think, or the sirens in the ocean, are dying and being like eaten by these zombie mermaids. Genius. Oh my god, zombie mermaids, like that is so iconic. I love that. I don't think they're definitely not called zombie mermaids, and they're not called mermaids, they're called something else. I wish I could remember the name. But so basically Imogen wants to like figure out why the zombie mermaids are kind of trying to kill the other mermaids, and she kind of gets to the root of why, and so that is kind of the crux of the story. She's like gonna go and like save the ocean, basically. And in a way, like, she feels like it's her fault for reasons I won't talk about. But also she's like learning so much about her family history and like stuff like that, and about who she is and about her powers. And it was amazing. I loved it. 5 stars for the couple alone, but for the fact that I actually did really enjoy the like other main conflict, which sometimes I'm like, when I'm reading romantasy, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on in the main conflict, but I like these two and I want to see them kiss. So this was both, which I'm happy about. Also, not that it's a strictly mermaid thing, I do want to show you guys my nails, because aren't these kind of giving mermaid? They're so cute. I love them. Sorry, they're never going to be in focus, but I love this shade of blue. I was kind of going to go for a more pool shade of blue, like that like really bright sky blue, but I saw this one and I just love this like really pretty turquoise color, so I got this one. Now my next update, I went to the library. I wanted to go to my like family's town's public library because I used to go when I lived at home, and it's such a good library. They have such a good selection and it's so like nice and vibey in there. So I wanted to go back. I haven't been in forever, and I went and I got House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. I actually already started reading this on audiobook, but then I saw it there and I'm like, okay, it would be so nice to like have both options. I wanted to find the other book that I plan on reading, but they didn't have it. I got Wicked Sea on my Kindle, so I do have a version of it, but I thought it'd be cool to have a physical version of that as well, but that's okay, because we got this one. And look how pretty the inside cover is. It's like metallic octopi, I think that's the right word, and like seahorses and chandelier and like a little masquerade mask. Really love it. So this is another book where the vibes are not beachy. They're definitely spooky, rainy, stormy. And so basically where I am in this so far is that there are 12 sisters, and I think like over half of them have died, like under kind of mysterious, strange circumstances. They live on this like very rocky, beachy island, and I think they could be princesses. Hold on. They live in a manor by the sea. Maybe they're not princesses, but so yeah, they're living in this like beautiful manor, and then a bunch of the older sisters start dying, and I think they're dying in like order of like oldest to youngest. The other like the people who work for this family and like the townspeople start to believe that these sisters are cursed. So that's kind of all I've read so far. Is we've just had then like the next sister die, and Annalie is mourning her loss, obviously. And what it seems like is that every other sister who has died, there's been a very long mourning period. This is like a type of society where you have to mourn for like a year basically, and Annalie is prepared to do that, but then her father and her stepmother announce that they are going to have a child. She's pregnant with a boy, and that would be the first boy of all 12 sisters, and they kind of cut the mourning short, and Annalie doesn't really think that that is right, and that's where I am basically. I do think that this though is inspired by the 12 Dancing Princesses. I need to like refresh on the summary. I need to refresh on the summary and see what it says, because I'm pretty sure that is involved, although I don't fully remember what the 12 Dancing Princesses is about other than dancing princesses. So okay, so turns out only 4 of the sisters have died of the 12, and yeah, so they all died kind of in weird ways, and Annalie is convinced that there is something bigger at play, and she's kind of investigating, and I think this might be like some ghosty situation. So that is what I'm reading right now, and the plan is I'm gonna try, I think, to go to the pool today and read this by the pool. I'm not like at my apartment, so I can't go to my big lake, but I want to try to go to the pool and read by the pool, obviously, get some water vibes hopefully, and then later today we're going to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, which I'm so excited about. I love those movies. I do want to watch the one with mermaids in it, but that's like the 4th one, which I don't remember. I thought it was like the 3rd one at least, but that's the 4th one, and I kind of want to watch in order, so we'll see. I'll TBD on that, but okay. I don't need to hold this anymore. But we're gonna do that, and then I'm going to make us fun little themed drinks. I'm gonna make us shark attacks, if you've seen those, although I don't have like a little plastic shark, so they're kind of just like, maybe they'll be siren attacks and you just like can't see the siren because she's underwater. But yeah, I'm gonna make shark attacks, or like little cute blue drinks. You had like grenadine, I have cute little fish gummies and stuff. So those are my plans. Those are my reading plans. That's all I have to update you on so far. So with that being said, I'm going to try to get ready to go to the pool. And if not, if I like can't go to the pool for whatever reason, I'll probably still just read some of this, like maybe outside, or put some ocean ambiance on. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so like I said, we're making my little shark attack drink before we watch Pirates of the Caribbean. We're actually on to the second one now, but I don't know if we should like skip the second one and do the one with the mermaids, because that one's the fourth one. I don't know, because they're all obviously ocean pirate sea themed, so I feel like we could just watch the second one. Also ignore the fact that I look crazy. Okay, for my shark attack, I'm using Sprite from the gas station because it hits. Oops. Some extra ice. Okay, that's probably good. Alright. Then I have this super cute Smuggler's Rum tropical soda. Isn't this like so perfect? I got this like months ago. I actually talked about it in a vlog and kind of forgot about it. And then when I was thinking about what I was going to use for like the blue aspect, I was like, wait, this is perfect. I also am mixing it with Sprite because I feel like this is not going to be like as what's the word, fizzy. Oops. Well, that's to deal with later. So that's so pretty. Oh, I'm just realizing you can't see these. Let's put them here so you can kind of see these. I'm obviously on my, not using a tripod right now. Okay, I did way too much Sprite. That's fine. You know what you do? You're just gonna take, oh my god, that's crazy. Also the ice is like clotting, not clotting, clumping. I'm rising to the top. Okay. Cute. For this one, I'm just gonna pour some back in there. Not a professional situation. Also, I know I talked about my nails, but like, look how perfectly they match. Cute. Is this not the cutest? Okay. Now I don't have a little shark to do my shark attack. Actually, I think I'm gonna wait to do this inside because I want to like let my boyfriend do his own. I think I'm gonna use a shot glass, but let me get my Scandinavian swimmers out. Hold on. I was using that as my tripod, so let me switch. Okay. Also, when I'm outside, because the lighting's better, and the setup is cuter, in my opinion. I have little toothpicks. Let's see if these will work. Perfect. Okay. I think I'm gonna do, obviously, a little dolphin. I'll do it this way. Okay. Then I'm gonna do a little starfish. Oh my god, this looks really cute. Scoop those down. Then I have like a little Nemo type fish, clownfish. Okay. That's probably enough, honestly. Right? I think that's kind of cute. Oh, I think that's so cute. Okay, I'm just gonna put this kind of hooked on the side. Uh-oh. Okay, I didn't think about the fact that this is not really a long enough stick. So it's kind of gonna be sunk in there. But that's okay. I I think it's still kind of cute. Okay. Now this one, should have prepped these probably. Let's start with the starfish. Okay, this one stayed so much better. Okay, cool. Let me show you what it looks like. I think these are so cute. I think I should have like not done as much Sprite because, oh my god, look at the ice. Because I think then like it would have been bluer, so that's on me. But I think they're really cute. Now let's go inside and we'll add our grenadine. Hello, I am back with another update. Last time I saw you, I think I told you that I got House of, oh my god, the glare, House of Salt and Sorrows at the library, and now I am, hold on, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing, chapter 32, so I'm honestly almost done with it. I'm at a really crazy part. I actually wow, I can't believe that I only have that much left, to be honest, because I'm at such a crazy part in the story that I'm like, where is it gonna go from here? How is this gonna be resolved? This book so far is so good. I feel bad almost because I feel like I am not in the best headspace to be reading this, which sounds funny. I just feel like I'm so invested in my summer reading books, which I'm very excited about, obviously, and I'm really excited about this book too, but I think because my brain is so excited about the next thing that it's harder for me to focus on this one, but it's so good, so it makes me feel bad. I can't remember what I said. I think last time I said it was 12 Dancing Princesses. One of the sisters has just recently passed away, and there's originally 12 sisters. Now I think there's 6 or 7 left. I can't remember. And we are following Annalie, who is the second eldest daughter. And so I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but essentially her and her sisters find a portal to access different kingdoms, and through that they are able to be transported to different balls, which is amazing because unfortunately the people on their own island believe them to be cursed, and essentially they think they're all going to be unable to find husbands because no one will be around them because they think that they are cursed, and that's why the sisters keep dying off. So they're very excited to find these balls to be able to get to meet people, etc. But now Annalie believes that her sister's death, her most recent sister's death, it was not an accident and was in fact a murder. So she's beginning to kind of investigate that. There's also a little romantic subplot with a character that I really enjoy their dynamic and their relationship. He is now trying to help her figure out what exactly happened to her sister. And this book is so much spookier than I originally imagined going in. It is there's some parts where I'm like, oh, give me the chills. It is spooky. It is not only so atmospheric in the sense that we are on this rocky island coastal village / kingdom, but we get the images from their beautiful manor that every time they describe it I'm like, I would like to live there. Their traditions, the way that when somebody dies in their culture, they return them to the sea. And they have like a whole little like speech that they go with it. It's very interesting. I love how fleshed out it is. I love the world building. And what I just noticed actually when I was picking this up was Stephanie Garber actually blurbed this and said, "Step inside a fairy tale." Stephanie Garber, I believe, is the author of Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart, which Once Upon a Broken Heart, although I can't remember the name right now, is one of my favorite books ever. I loved the fairy tale vibes in that, and she's totally right. This is giving very much a dark fairy tale. I can definitely see the like 12 dancing princess like folklore coming in, although I need to like read up on that, but I can see the like influence for sure. And yeah, it's so much darker. I am so surprised. There's also this kind of like ghost subplot situation, or like what you think might be ghost subplot situation happening that is very eerie and spooky. And the way it's described and the elements, they're one of Annalie's youngest sister is bringing out the deaths of her sisters who have passed, and I'm like, oh my god, it's really spooky. I think I'm surprised by how spooky it is and how far they're willing to push the spookiness, which I very, very much appreciate. So I think I will definitely be finishing this tonight, which is very exciting. And then so originally I had planned to read The Wicked Sea, and I still want to read this eventually, but I think I'm getting a little bit also, like I said, my mind is a little bit like all over the place right now. So I think I want to do, instead of doing another fantasy, which would be The Wicked Sea, I'm going to do like a more like romance-based one. Obviously, it's still going to have fantasy elements because it's going to have mermaids. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm just feeling like I need something a little bit more easy to like hook into and just like read pretty quickly. So I have some options, but I think what I'm going to go with, don't hold me to this because I think I need to like, I have it on Kindle Unlimited right now, and I think I need to like read the first few pages, and maybe if I really am not vibing with it, I'll just go back to Wicked Sea. But I might be reading and Making Out with Mermaids, which like there was no other title names. There's something else coming up in the boardroom, in the writer's room, maybe, but whatever. It's fine. It's funny. So I think I'm going to try to pick up that. We'll see, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that once I pick it up, if I decide to. The next thing I want to update you about is that I have very fun plans. I am actually going to the aquarium today, which, yay, I feel like is so fitting for the vibe, obviously. I'm going with my mom and my little brother, and we're just gonna go. I think they have like a dolphin show, and then we're just gonna walk around and see the sea creatures so I can be fully immersed in the ocean aquatic life. So I'm very excited about that. I'll include some clips and stuff of that. And yeah, I think that's my last update, and then I will update you when and if I start reading that last book, and also probably when I finish House of Salt and Sorrows, because like I said, we're at a crazy part, and I'm like, what could possibly be the resolution for this? So very intrigued, but okay, I will see you then. It's a video. Okay, hello from my bed. Sorry for the not great lighting, but I wanted to update you because I've just finished House of Salt and Sorrow. As you saw, I just included the clip of me reading in the last chapter and the epilogue. This book has completely knocked all of my expectations out of the water. It was so much better than I anticipated. I don't even know. This might be another 5-star freaking mermaid book. I guess, who would have thought? Here's the thing. I was kind of struggling to get through it, but it was not the book or the writing or anything like that that was doing that. It was my own mindset. Like, I was just having like trouble focusing on this book, and I feel like I'm reading a lot of things right now, so it's hard for my brain to like be fully locked in. It's also summer, whatever, all these excuses. So I almost feel like it doesn't give me the 5-star feeling, but I feel like I have to give it that credit because this was so much eerier and spookier than I expected it to be. It took it so much further. I'm like so impressed. I love the magic system, although I will say I don't fully understand it. There's different like kingdoms, and each kingdom seems to like have its own thing. Like House of Salt and Sorrow, their kingdom is the ocean, and they have like a sea god that they like pray to. There's people who are like star gods, bone gods, what other gods, whatever have you, which is an interesting concept. I just don't think that was fully fleshed out, and I don't think that was like the point. Like, I don't think we needed to know all about that really. There were other aspects that were like bigger plot points, that were bigger parts of the plot that had like the magic included. There was essentially the plot later on is that you realize, this is a spoiler, so I never know how spoilery to get in vlogs, but this is a spoiler, so if you want to read it, skip ahead. But so later on you find out that someone has basically made a bargain with like a trickster god to get what they want, and they're using the sisters, the famous sisters, I don't know how you say it, as collateral, and that's why some of the sisters keep dying. Not all of them, which was interesting. So I guess some of them were just actually dying just because. So that was kind of interesting. I guess some of them were just dying off naturally. I don't know, kind of weird. And you're kind of trying to figure out who it is, and there is one part that like I had an inkling that this person might have been involved, because we kind of get a red herring at one point, and I'm like, no, he's definitely the red herring. I'm like, that's definitely the love interest, like the confirmed love interest. So I'm like, okay, so I think it's this person, and he was involved, but not in the way I expected, and it was like honestly gruesome. The way that they described it, I'm like, this is straight up horror. I think this is a YA, but this is straight up horror. I was like, oh my god, gagged. Like, that was so crazy, but so genius. It was so creepy and eerie. Oh my god. And then later when we find out who it is, and there's a scene that's happening while it's being revealed, also horrific. Oh my god. But like in the best way. Like, it played into the story so well. It was so like gory, gruesome, atmospheric, crazy. I don't even know. I'm so shocked, and I feel like I have to give it, even though I don't know necessarily if it gave me that 5-star feeling of like, this is the best book ever. I think that it just like surprised me so much in how far I was willing to take the spookiness, that I have to give it that credit. I'm really impressed. Also, I just loved the characters. I feel like they were like decently fleshed out. Sorry, I'm holding you, so not the best camera work, but I really liked our main character Annalie and her love interest Cassius. I thought they were really cute together. Loved that Annalie was kind of like the caretaker sister, and like she has very much this like midwife energy. Has that ever been said before? Probably. But this midwife kind of aura to her. She's like caring for her stepmother who's pregnant during the book and stuff like that. I really like that, and that she kind of felt like the like older sister sense, and like she wanted to take care of everyone, and I really loved seeing the sisters' relationships. I wish we had a little bit more time with the sisters after everything went down, like in the epilogue, but it was still really interesting. I love the setting. I love how eerie spooky it was. I think that's really what's sticking out to me the most. So yeah, I think that was a 5-star. Maybe 4.75. I don't really know. But now I think I'm going to try to read my last mermaid book I have planned. I think I mentioned this in my last clip. I was going to do The Wicked Sea, but I do think I need something a little bit less fantasy and more just romance. Obviously, it's still going to have fantasy elements because it is a mermaid story, and it's mermaids are not real, unfortunately. But I just wanted something a little bit lighter of a plot, more romance focused. And this is funny because it is a like mermaid story, but it seems like the plot is very like contemporary almost. Okay, actually I'm not going to read that to you because it's like one of those things where she's reading it in first person or whatever. And that can get confusing. But so this is about a mermaid girl like lives underwater, I guess. I don't know. It's so weird. So she like is an artist. She's a mermaid artist, and she like wants to get away from her kingdom and her like hometown. And so she's like trying to get out there with her art, and then a vampire hires her to do a bunch of art, and I guess he's like well known, and I think maybe like bad boy vibes. I don't even know. I'm like, how is a vampire in this situation? How do you get there? Are they underwater? I have many questions, and I think what I need to do is read this book and find out what the heck is going on. But yeah, so that is my plan. I'm trying to, oh, here we go. Here is the cute little cover. I think this is so funny. Making out with mermaids, yay. Love. But okay, so I'm gonna get to reading this before I get too tired not to. But yeah, I will update you once I have read a little bit and find out what is going on in Making Out with Mermaids. Hello, I am wrapping up my video here. Fortunately, we did have kind of a flop. I started reading Making Out with Mermaids. I think I only got like 10% into this, and I really was not enjoying it. The writing style was not for me. I also found out that this is like the 7th book in a series, and at first I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna be one of those books that like, even if you don't read the other books, it's like an interconnected series. It's not the same characters every time. So I was like, okay, like maybe I can still understand what's going on. Like I don't need to read all 6 books previously. That was kind of not the case because it kept alluding to like stuff that had happened in the past, and I really honestly could never tell if it was like stuff that had happened in the past books that we like should have been knowing about because we've read the series, or if it was stuff that's happened in the past like off page and they were like updating us. But either way, it felt very like confusing to be reading it because I just like could never really follow along what like I could, but it was just like it didn't flow well, and it was made the reading experience not enjoyable. And yeah, again, the writing style was not for me. This is definitely a little bit more of a, what's the word? Definitely more of kind of like a lax writing style. It kind of gave like Wattpad vibes, you know, which I guess I could have kind of assumed going into it, knowing that the book is called Making Out with Mermaids. So that's on me. But with that being said, I did not finish it, and I did not start another one because it was already like the end of the video and filming and other books that I'm reading. So I kind of did not want to try to pick up another one and have that one not be good, or like just have to read a full another book, unfortunately. So this vlog was only a 2-book vlog, which at first I was kind of disappointed by. I always want to like push myself and try to like do better than I have in the past. And in my last like niche reading vlog, I read 3 books, so I was hoping to at least read 3. But I am feeling a little better about it because it is, both the books I read were like 5 stars. They were such good books. I'm so excited. I will definitely be reading the second book in the Veins of the Drowning series. There's also a second book for the House of Salt and Sorrow, but it is not following the same characters. It's following the youngest sister at the time when she's now 18. So I could be intrigued to like maybe pick that up because I loved this one so much. But I'm definitely reading the second in the Veins of the Drowning because I need to know what happens to my babies and to Imogen and Theo. So that I think is a win that I like enjoyed those books so much. I also, of course, as you saw, got to do so many fun little summer ocean water themed activities during this vlog, so I'm very happy that I got to do the activities. And it's also just harder in general to read for me in the summer just because I feel like there's so much going on and so many things I want to do, and I want to be like outside and running about. So I'm trying to give myself grace. I hope you enjoyed following me along on this fun summer journey, this fun mermaid ocean themed vlog, and enjoyed some of the books that I talked about. I'm also trying to find a better balance of like reading the books, talking about the books, and doing the activities. I feel like maybe I could have a little bit more discussion in my video, in these like niche like summer vlogs that I'm doing to talk about the book. So maybe if that's something that you want to see, like let me know, because I feel like I'm like want to do all the fun activities, but I also need to talk about the book as well, of course. So I'm trying to find a better balance of doing that. But yes, as I said, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.